the Indiana Fever are that golden destination, and I can't help but laugh to the fans and the people online and the media commentators, unfortunately, who said that nobody wanted to play in Indiana. That doesn't make any sense.
Sheryl Swoopes is absolutely spiraling. She stood up, puffed out her chest, and confidently declared that Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever wouldn't be able to attract top free agents. Fast forward a few months, and here we are. Indiana just had one of the most successful free agency runs in league history. Meanwhile, Sheryl is left looking like a malfunctioning Magic 8-ball, consistently wrong and desperately trying to shake out a better prediction. Somebody needs to check on her, because at this point the Fever's dominance just wiped out whatever credibility she had left.
Stephanie White came in and said, okay, hold up. Let me go to Indeed.com and Indeed get some free agents to come in here that want to play, that are accomplished, seasoned veterans. She did all that. Cheryl's been nowhere to be found. Sheryl got a lot of crow to eat, folks. Sheryl could be choking on crow right now. She need that Heimlich maneuver. If you see Sheryl Swoopes, tell her it's okay to come out and talk and say, man, you was wrong. It's okay.
Let's take a step back. Yes, Sheryl Swoopes is a Hall of Famer and a legend of the game, but lately she's just clocking in as a full-time Caitlin Clark skeptic, working overtime to push terrible takes. She loudly claimed the Fever wouldn't be able to land top-tier talent because of supposed locker room issues, and yet here we are. The contracts are signed, the deals are done, and Indiana just built a powerhouse squad while Sheryl sits on the sidelines trying to act like she didn't just fumble another prediction.
Yeah, I talked to Sydney Colson today. She said that Kelsey Mitchell was actually the first person she hit up because they built a bond here, playing AU for the last 3 years. She said she heard some good things about Caitlin Clark from her Aces teammate Kate Martin as well. So
I can only imagine Sheryl scrolling through her phone in disbelief. No way these players actually chose Indiana, she probably muttered. But yes, it happened. Natasha Howard, Dana Borner, Sophie Cunningham, and even Aisha Wilson's best friend Sydney Coulson are all in the Fever. Didn't just win free agency, they absolutely dominated it. And when Coulson was asked why she signed with Indiana,
3 WNBA MVPs in your career, would you consider each of those 3 seasons as dominant seasons for yourself?
No.
I can't, bro. Sheryl Swoopes is willing to lie about her own career before she even admits that Caitlin is done.
Oh, the irony. She specifically mentioned wanting to play alongside Kelsey Mitchell, one of the exact players Swoopes had previously dismissed, and of course she wanted to play with Caitlin Clark. You know, the same Caitlin Clark that Sheryl confidently claimed would need years to adjust to the WNBA years. Really, meanwhile, Clark is out here dropping 40 pieces with ease, while Swoopes takes age worse than an unrefrigerated gallon of milk.
No, but players who will be free agents next year, there's a lot of other going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
At this point, hating on Caitlin Clark has become a professional sport, and Sheryl Swoopes is gunning for the gold medal. In fact, she's probably sweeping the podium, gold, silver and bronze, standing there with a bitter expression while the Fever celebrate another major win. Oh, Caitlin won't translate to the WNBA, yeah. Tell that to Indiana, who's stacking elite talent like they're assembling the Avengers. Caitlin Clark isn't struggling, she's thriving, and the Fever, they're right there with her, proving every doubter, including Swoopes, dead wrong.
What it do, peeps? Sheryl Swoopes is been missing. Sheryl Swoopes is MIA. They got a APB out for Sheryl Swoopes. If you see Sheryl Swoopes, she did a lot of talking a few months ago about the Indiana Fever, the locker room environment, how people didn't want to play there, how people wanted to leave.
And let's be honest, the real reason some WNBA veterans and so-called legends can't stand Caitlin Clark is because she didn't wait her turn, she didn't ask for permission, she didn't tiptoe into the league with a humble "I hope I fit in" attitude. No, she walked in, shattered 62 records, embraced the fans, and single-handedly elevated women's basketball to unprecedented heights, and that absolutely burns them up inside.
People say that Caitlin Clark moves the needle. That is wrong. She is the needle. She dictates. We all know what she's done on the floor. It's history, right? But off the floor, my goodness.
See, Caitlin Clark didn't need anyone's approval to become the face of the sport. She has more global recognition than half the WNBA combined, and it's not her fault. That's just what happens when you're a once-in-a-generation talent. Sheryl Swoopes, Angel Ree, Aisha Wilson, and the entire Auntie Clark brigade are going to have to live with that fact, because while they're busy complaining, Caitlin is out here making history, selling out arenas, and turning the Indiana Fever into the team everyone wants to Play for just pause for a second and appreciate that the Indiana Fever, a team that was once ignored and irrelevant, is now the epicenter of women's basketball. A team that nobody cared about a year ago is now the most exciting squad in the league. That's not just impact, that's undeniable proof of who really moves the needle.
Even further, when a game that Sheryl Swoopes was calling for the Dallas Wings, where the commentator was talking about how great Caitlin Clark had been playing, Sheryl Swoopes silent for 60 seconds, didn't even want to address it. And it got so bad that the game that Dallas then went to play against the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark, after the domination of the Chicago Sky, Sheryl Swoopes got...
So Sheryl, what happened to players don't want to go to Indiana? Who exactly were you talking to? The ghosts of teams past? Because real players, actual high-caliber players, are signing with the Fever like it's the VIP section of an exclusive club. Or did she think Caitlin Clark would have to beg people to join her?
It's going to be Caitlin Clark Flash Show. So it's going to be phenomenal playing with a point guard, like you said, that have a good vision on the court, because that's like, as soon as she get the ball in her hand, she's throwing it up because she already see the person down the court before she even get the ball in her hand. So that's one thing I love about her vision on the court. I really can't wait to catch all those passes and give her all the assists that she needs.
Somebody check on Sheryl, because she's clearly stuck in 2002, back when the Indiana Fever were scraping together rosters like they were hosting open tryouts at the local YMCA. News flash times have changed. This isn't Tamika Catchings dragging a squad full of part-time gym teachers to the playoffs. The Fever aren't struggling to recruit talent anymore. They're stacked. Natasha Howard, a defensive powerhouse, a champion, and an offensive weapon, Allen one, and when she signed with Indiana she made it clear she wanted to be here. Interviews 10. Dana Borner, a walking mismatch, a dominant scorer and one of the WNBA's elite veterans. And what did she do the moment she got to Indiana? She took to Twitter and went to war with all the Fever haters, setting the tone before she even stepped on the court.
Just so excited to be here. I'm from the Midwest, and so for me to kind of get back to my roots and be close to my family, I'm so excited. Like, when I say that I am refreshed and I am motivated and I just like kind of feel like my spark is back. Everyone thinks I've been feisty. You've not even seen the feisty side of me yet, so this should be really fun. But for me, I'm excited to be closer to home. I'm excited to deep dive into the community of Indiana. I've already met a lot of really cool people. I'm excited to inspire the next generation of young boys and girls around here, get to know the community more. But I promise you that I'm just ready to just like win. I'm ready to win. I'm ready for y'all to be there. But like,
So Sophie Cunningham bringing the spice, the swagger, and enough trash talk to fuel an entire season. And guess who she wanted to play with? That's right, Caitlin Clark.
No, that I'm very excited. And I really agree with a lot of the moves the Indiana Fever have made. There's not been one trade or pickup that the Indiana Fever have made that I have not been on board with. I'm on board with every single one. And I just want to say, the fact that the Indiana Fever have gone out and got these great players like a Natasha Howard, like a DeWanna Bonner, like a Sophie Cunningham, the fact that they've gone out and got these great players shows that they believe Caitlin Clark is great right now. They are on board with the Caitlin Clark vision, and it just makes me happy because they're not treating Caitlin Clark like a rookie who is gonna be good in 10 years. No, they're treating her like a superstar who is...
And Sydney Coulson, look, she's not out here dropping 25 a night, but she's about to turn that locker room into the most electric, high-energy environment. The Fever have ever had chemistry through the roof. Do you see a pattern here? These aren't bottom-tier role players getting shuffled around for depth. These are legit WNBA stars and key contributors choosing Indiana, choosing to play alongside the Fab Four of Caitlin Clark, Aya Boston, Kelsey Mitchell and Lexi Hull. So while Sheryl Swoopes is busy scrambling to defend yet another one of her awful takes, the Indiana Fever are out here quietly building something special. Maybe someone should get Sheryl an eye exam, because she clearly wasn't talking about Indiana. Maybe she was referring to the Las Vegas Aces, who are desperately trying to sell cheap tickets, or maybe she meant the Chicago Sky, who just lost their leading scorer without a backup plan, or perhaps the Connecticut Sun A team imploding right before our very eyes. Meanwhile, Indiana, they're not just here to participate, they're here to dominate you.
Hey, by the way, every single narrative about the Fever is like whatever about them signing Sophie Cunningham, who they don't like. They love DeWanna Bonner. Like, these people, they signed DeWanna Bonner, and again, they were saying, like, we have actual people working for networks being like, DeWanna Bonner will never sign for the Fever for obvious reasons. And I'm like, what are the obvious reasons? Genuinely, what are the...
Sheryl Swoopes really thought she was about to drop some earth-shattering league-altering wisdom when she made those comments about free agency. She hopped on that podcast with the confidence of someone revealing top-secret information, but all she really did was expose her own credibility or whatever was left of it. And honestly, at this point, are we even surprised Sheryl's out here firing off bad takes like it's her second job? If there was a hall of fame for embarrassing predictions, she'd be a first ballot unanimous selection.